What's happening, people? It has been a minute since I last made a video like this, but we have something incredibly special for you today. Feast your eyes on the Dragster 700 Twin by Italjet. Now, let me get this out of the way first. I can't really call this a review because, as some of you will know who know me, I now work for Italjet. So for me to say this is a review, it would be a very biased review. But what I can do is give you a very up-close, personal look at what makes this machine so special. Before we dive into all the geeky tech stuff, let's address the big question that we keep seeing on the internet in regards to, is this a motorcycle or is it a scooter? Well, at Italjet, we like to think we've created something that sits in between. We don't really think it's a motorcycle. We don't really think it's a scooter. We like to think we've made something completely new, or at least very much blurs the lines between the two.
Do you want to know what it is?
One thing's for sure, it's a machine that's designed to blow minds and turn heads, something Italjet have been doing since 1959. Now, some people are adamant that it's not a scooter simply because it has a 6-speed manual transmission, but let's cast our mind back to the classic Lambrettas and Vespas of yesteryear, which also had a manual gearbox, albeit a slightly different manual gearbox to what we see here on the 700 Twin, which is much more akin to a traditional 6-speed motorcycle box. However, the fact that the scooters that really started the whole scooter scene were also manuals, that argument doesn't really hold water with me. However, who am I to decide whether it is a motorcycle or a scooter? Ultimately, that decision will come down to the lucky few 700 people that have placed orders for this amazing machine. So let's discuss the tech and gadgetry that come as standard on this Dragster 700. Looking up front here, we have a built-in camera system which records your ride footage. You can use it for your own pleasure to look back on your rides, but its primary use is designed to be a safety device. Keep you safe against those strange guys driving 15-year-old white transit vans who don't believe in using turn signals. You also have the option to add a rear camera system to give you full coverage front and rear. Moving up to the dash, which I can't show you at the moment, unfortunately, because we're still developing the UI and the graphical interface. It will contain everything you would expect: fuel, RPM, speed, trip counter, temperature, battery voltage, etc. The normal bits and pieces you would expect. Also, it's going to have a built-in navigation system which pairs with your phone, and you can also see whether you're getting a call or a text message. If you're the sort of person whose wife complains that you've been out on the bike for too long, perhaps it's best you say it doesn't have phone connectivity, because then you can make the excuse you were riding and couldn't hear the phone call. One other feature we will also see on the dashboard is selectable ride modes. We've still not finalised exactly how they're going to work, but our initial thought is there's going to be 3 mode settings. One will be normal road use, the other will be rain, and then the other one sport or race. So you can interchange accordingly depending on whether you're just cruising through the city, taking it on a track day, or happen to get caught in that horrible wet stuff. Talking about engine modes, as many of you will know, the Dragster 700 uses a twin-cylinder 700cc engine which produces just shy of 70 horsepower and 70 newton meters of torque. Capable of speeds around 120 miles per hour. It could do more, but we chose to gear it in such a way to give the best possible acceleration and sacrificing some top end. The crowning jewel on the engine and adding a key feature to the overall look of the bike is this transparent clutch cover by our friends over at DBK Special Parts. This is a really trick item that really suits the style and aggressive lines of the Dragster 700 and is a work of art in its own right. It is chain drive, of course, and what better than this beautiful gold chain? Transmission wise, we have a traditional 6-speed foot operated gearbox. We are looking to develop a quick shift kit that allows you to slam it through the gears without using the clutch, but if we do go ahead with this, it will be an optional extra, not included as standard. The swing arm itself is worthy of a mention, something we designed in-house and oozes style and engineering, opting for this more complicated design over your boring generic rear swing arm. Braking wise, up front we see these sexy twin 270mm wavy discs and caliper setup by Brembo. Notice the red fins behind the caliper. This is another item designed by our friends over at DBK Special Parts. Its main job is to channel more cooling towards the caliper, but also adds a touch of style. On the rear we see a 240mm wavy disc, also complemented by a Brembo caliper. The wheels, by the way, are 15-inch for those of you wondering. This is where things really start hotting up. On the rear we see a fully adjustable Öhlins rear shock with piggyback reservoir. Up front we see a matching Öhlins steering damper and a pair of chunky Mizuki upside down forks. And the final piece of this suspension setup that really sets the Dragster 700 apart from the rest is the rear height adjuster. Raising your height makes the bike more nimble when cornering, but lowering the ride height makes the bike more stable, yet less nimble in the corners. Lighting wise, we see the same signature style found on the smaller Dragsters. It's a fully LED setup both front and rear, and the headlight is also a projector unit, giving ample coverage at night. The front screen is also adjustable, so if you want a bit of added protection from the wind or rain, you can put it to its highest setting, giving you that extra bit of coverage. And let's not forget about those beautiful aero wings up front. Another standout feature of the Dragster 700 is the Akrapovic twin underseat exhaust system. We have a close relationship with Akrapovic, and it's always a joy to work with them when it comes to Italjet exhaust systems. This system gives the rear of the 700 a truly sporty look that even a MotoGP bike would be proud of. A big shout out to our friends over at Nisa Seats for designing this one. It's hard to achieve a sporty seat that's also comfortable, but we've managed to accomplish both with this. A few people have also asked about the pillion seating, and as you can see here, yes, it has one, and it's quite comfy as far as pillion seats go. Please ignore the few creases on the seat. This was the first prototype to get the aesthetic right. The final version will not have this issue. One question we do get asked a lot about the Dragster 700 is in regards to the seating position, and that's one of the features that really blurs the lines between motorcycle and scooter. While you have the motorcycle performance and handling, you have the seating position much more akin to a large maxi scooter. So you're not hunched over that fuel tank, making it more of a joy to ride if you want to go out touring, riding around the city. And those longer rides, you're not getting that pain in the back that you normally get from a lot of sports bikes. Now, the seat height in its standard setting is around 800mm. Now, bear in mind, there is a paddock stand on the back here, so it's slightly higher than it normally would do. I am about 5'8", and I can still touch the ground quite easily. And as you can see, if that paddock stand was gone, my foot would be easily fat on the floor. So those of us who are vertically challenged don't need to worry about this bike. And let's not forget about the height adjuster mechanism on the back here. While its primary use is to adjust how the bike handles, making it more nimble and agile depending on how you set it up, it's also going to be used as a nice feature for those of us who aren't so tall. You can drop the back end down a little bit and make that seat height even lower, so you feel even more comfortable at home on the bike. Now, one thing that we are tweaking slightly is in regards to the handlebars and the foot pegs. At the moment, they're quite wide. You almost get a feel of if the seat was a little bit lower, you'd have that Harley Davidson cruiser type feel about it, which is not necessarily a bad thing. But we want to bring the handlebars in slightly, make them slightly narrower. That'll obviously make it a lot easier to filter through traffic in those busy urban streets. And also the foot pegs, I don't know if you can see how wide my legs are spread here, but the foot pegs are a little bit on the wide side as well, so they'll be coming in closer to the bodywork of the bike to give it an overall slimmer profile, as we say, just to make it easier to navigate through those city streets. So we're getting towards the end of the video now, and unfortunately there is no ride footage at the moment because although this bike is 95% complete, one key item is actually missing, and that's the wiring loom, hence why we can't show you the dash, the lights, or any of the electronics right now. But shortly after this video, the bike will be disappearing back into our secret laboratory to have all the electrics fitted and kick it into life. one of those Frankenstein moments.
Lies! Lies, do you hear me? Give my creation life!
But rest assured, as soon as it comes back out of that workshop and is up and running, we will bring you another video showing you exactly how this bike performs on the road. And one thing I know you've all been asking for is to hear the beautiful music coming out of these Krapovich exhaust systems.
Loud noises!
So that's it from me. As always, thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed the video. Please do leave a like on the video, subscribe, drop a little comment down below. I will get back to you. But as always, peace and pistons.